Long ago, when the world was young, our ancestors faced challenges we can hardly imagine. Take Grug, for example, a caveman who was, well, let's just say he was special.
That boy needs to learn that survival isn't just about strength, it's about making friends in unexpected places.
Little did they know how true those words would become. Poor Grug. He tried his best, but he just couldn't seem to get the hang of this whole survival thing. The clan was losing patience. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. It all started when Grug was running from a very angry, very large woolly mammoth. And that's when he found the cave. Now, here's the thing about caves. You never know what you might find inside. What Grug found was a little saber-toothed tiger cub, trapped and alone. And in that moment, Grug faced a choice that would change everything. Now I know what you're thinking, a caveman and a saber-toothed tiger, that's just asking for trouble. Oh no, the mammoth was back! And in that moment, an unlikely hero was born. And just like that, Grug the Bumbler became Grug the Brave. Who'd have thought, huh? Now, sneaking a saber-toothed tiger cub into a caveman village, that's what we in the business call a recipe for disaster. But Grug, bless his clay heart, was never one for recipes. Meanwhile, back at the cave, life was going on as usual. Well, as usual as life gets when you're a clay caveman.
What in the name of all that's prehistoric is that?
It's my friend. His name is Stripes.
You see, bringing home a new pet is tricky in any era, but when that pet has teeth bigger than your head, well, that's a whole other ball game.
I think it's brave and kind of sweet.
And so began a new chapter in the clan's history, one that involved a lot more running, screaming, and unexpected teamwork than anyone had bargained for.
Well, I'll be a mammoth's uncle. This little fella might just be what we need to shake things up around here.
Now, you might think a caveman teaching a tiger cub would be a disaster, and you'd be right. But here's the thing about disasters. Sometimes they lead to something amazing. They hunted together, learned together, and yes, failed spectacularly together. And all the while the clan watched, their expressions slowly changing from terror to, well, slightly less terror. But of course life has a way of throwing curveballs, or in this case, woolly rhinos. It was just another day of hunting lessons gone wrong, but this time, the stakes were higher than ever. Time seemed to slow down. The clan held their breath. And Grug? Well, Grug did what Grug does best. In that moment, Grug was no longer the clan's bumbler. He was their hero, and just like that, everything changed. Well, almost everything. Some things, it seems, are eternal, like friendship, and Grug's unique talent for slapstick.
Grug, Stripes, you've shown us that change isn't always bad. From this day forward, you're both official clan protectors.
Now just when things were looking up for our clay heroes, wouldn't you know it? Trouble came a-howling. And by trouble, I mean dire wolves. These weren't your average run-of-the-mill wolves. Oh no, these were the stuff of prehistoric nightmares.
This is all your fault. You brought these beasts upon us.
But he's my friend. He wouldn't.
Take that creature away from here, Grug. Now!
Stripes, come back. I'm sorry.
And just like that, our dynamic duo was torn apart. Talk about a plot twist, huh? Poor Grug. He'd finally found a friend, only to lose him to fear and misunderstanding. As Grug searched for Stripes, he faced dangers he'd never imagined. Turns out, having a saber-toothed tiger as a best friend really comes in handy in a pinch. Sometimes we don't realize what we have until it's gone. And boy, did Grug and Stripes realize it now. But wait, what's that sound? Could it be? The clan was in trouble. Those dastardly dire wolves were at it again.
Oh no. Oh no.
And in that moment, our heroes knew what they had to do. After all, what are friends for if not saving each other from certain doom?
Ooh!
Well, folks, it was the moment of truth. Our unlikely duo was about to face their biggest challenge yet. Our heroes found each other again, and not a moment too soon. The wolves were closing in, their hunger as sharp as their teeth. Now, you might be wondering how a clumsy caveman and a tiger cub could save the day. Well, when friendship is on the line, anything is possible. And I mean anything, just look at them go. And so began the most peculiar battle prehistoric times had ever seen. Grug stretched, Stripes shape-shifted, and the clan, they finally understood the power of teamwork. Those poor wolves never stood a chance. Before they knew it, they were running away with their tails between their legs. Literally.
We owe you our lives. I was wrong about you both.
And just like that, everything changed. Humans and animals living together in harmony. Who'd have thought? As for Grug and Stripes, they lived happily ever after. Or at least until their next misadventure. Some things, it seems, never change. And maybe that's just the way it should be. First humans, surviving with animals, the end.